Good morning, or afternoon for me, anyways. Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Hope you're doing well. All right, we're going to continue down the path. So, prenuptial agreements. Are they legal in the Philippines? How do they work in the Philippines? And then, secondarily, can they impact you in the U.S.? Can the U.S. prenup impact you here? Let's talk about it.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay, first off, let's just cut right to the chase. Couple quick things here. Number one, we're not attorneys. Get a good, solid attorney. Get an attorney that's experienced in family law. If you have any question or concerns at all regarding any of the information that you get here. Number two, hey, we actually put a lot of effort into this. In fact, well, you know what? We put a lot of effort into it, period. End of story. If you can appreciate the effort we put into these videos, if you'd like to show your support for the channel, the best way you can do that is to subscribe and hit the thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. Finally, I will get a ton of response on this. Do not include links in your comments. They will not post. Your entire comment gets thrown out. That's the way YouTube has this channel set up. We do not accept links. Number two, if you're going to comment, watch the whole video first, please, and keep your comments related to the context. Don't cherry pick it. Don't take stuff out of context and spin it, Mr. Mike Masters. Okay? Now, prenups, are they legal? Absolutely. They've been legal for I don't know how many years. How do you think movie stars, senators, congressmen, landowners, big corporate CEOs, how do you think they keep their shit? They keep it because nobody can take it. And one of the ways they don't get taken is through prenups. Now, you're going to say to yourself, I don't have anything. Well, let's first take a look at something else, and then we're going to address that. Now, the following text is from an attorney that was ruling on their interpretation of the Supreme Court's prenuptial agreement allowances. All right, here in the Philippines. As a rule, marriage is governed by rules established by law and cannot be made inoperative by stipulation of the parties. By stipulation of the parties, that means that it has to be an already written rule, law. All right, the Civil Family Code is what it follows. All right, divorce itself is not recognized in the Philippines, although nullity is. Proceedings are common. You're going, they're not that common. They're hard to get. They're expensive. Let me tell you something. Prior to pandemic, Philippines was annulling 10,000 marriages a year for multiple years. Don't think your girlfriend, now wife, can't get that thing annulled. All right? Don't. In fact, according to the Philippine Statistic Authority, 85% of all marriage annulments are put in play by women. Okay? Don't think it doesn't happen. All right? The parties may enter into a prenuptial agreement to fix their property relations during the marriage within the law, within the limits provided by the family code. All right. Yes, they can. They absolutely can. But there's a little something else about this further down. When the parties as future spouses enter into a prenuptial agreement, it is the binding law between them. And the family code is supplemental. So let me get in the picture here, okay? Prenup, then family law, the family code, and then customary traditions and custom. Prenups supersede everything. Everything. That's the way it is. In short, the prenuptial agreement takes precedence in determination of the property relations between the husband and wife. Therefore, the regime of absolute community property provided by the law and the family code, all right, is subsidiary to the will of the future spouses. Now, something to take into consideration. Who wants a prenup? Why should you get a prenup? Prenuptial agreements are generally into when there is a significant age disparity between the parties, when there is a wide difference between the wealth or indebtedness of the parties, or when one has children from a prior marriage. Now let's talk about why somebody with nothing or very little or a lot needs a prenup. Now you're going to sit there and say, Mike, you know what? I don't have anything. All my stuff is in the U.S. I don't have to worry about it. Well, we're going to talk about all your stuff in the U.S. later. But right now, let's talk about here in the Philippines. You're keeping your money in the U.S. You're sending it over monthly. You have no assets. Now you get married. And if you're a wise individual, and if you want to do, you know what? I won't even say it like that. You may want to buy a condo. Okay? And your desire to buy a condo is, I can own 100%. She doesn't have to be on the title. I'm buying it with my money from the U.S. It's in my name. Okay. Guess what? Sure, you can put it in your name, and she can contest the shit out of it later. From the time the priest tells you you're now man and wife, everything you acquire from that point on becomes common co-ownership property. Now, that's where the prenup comes in. If you had a prenup and one of the clauses in the prenup was any assets that are acquired by me during the course of this marriage by funds brought by me from the U.S. are solely mine. Now, I didn't word it correctly, but you got the point, right? I'm not a lawyer, and that's not how mine is worded. But that you've got the point. That's how it works. You've got to tell that in advance. You've got to say it in advance. Otherwise, it's community property, buddy. Now, a couple of other things, you can apply that to anything. And that's doing nothing more than covering your ass, isn't it? All right? Isn't that what it's all about? Or it could be a method of your own estate planning. All right? I'm talking about when you have minimal stuff, how this works. You have no idea. For those of you that are out there that are in the 1/2 of the 1%ers, okay? Prenups can be 20 pages long. But how's that work again? Well, here's something interesting for you to think of. Oh, let me get rid of that. In a prenuptial agreement, all assets and properties, along with the value, and that's a very important word, of each asset should be included. It may also include a provision that deals with the appointment of wages, commissions, pension plans, medical health insurance benefits, and the list goes on. All right? But parts of what you need is you need a clause for arbitration. All right? And here's where you kind of could possibly get screwed, some of you. You have got to put a provision of the venue in the case of an annulment action is commenced and included. All right? So in other words, yeah, this is my prenup in the Philippines, and its venue is in the Philippines. Okay? We're just going to leave it at that. It's pretty simple. I don't understand how it can't be. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple of other very quick items before we get into the U.S. part. And that is, number one, when you do a prenup, you need to arrange for your spouse or fiance at the time, hopefully, to have her own legal representation. Oh man, that was loud. She needs to have her own attorney, and it has to be non-affiliated with your attorney. When the prenup is drawn up, when that happens, it needs to be in English, Tagalog, which is the unsanctioned international language, all right? And then finally, it needs to be in her language. So if she is from Mindanao, she may need it in Bisaya, she may need it in Waray, she may need it in Tagalog, whatever, okay? You can't allow yourself to be put in a position where she could come back later and say, I didn't know what I was signing, okay? She has to have her own lawyer, and you're going to pay for it. But these things are not that expensive in comparison to what you could lose, okay? It really and truly is. Now, you know something? I'm going to save the U.S. side for part 2, just to get some comments, just to get an understanding as to what people think so far, all right? Because, yes, you need to think about your assets in the U.S., even if she's never been there, all right? So, in closing, I'd like to tell you just straight up, thank you for being here. Thank you for lending an ear, and we hope you have a great day. Bye.